I have found what I believe to be one of the biggest single mistakes that most eBay sellers I come across are making, and it's completely killing their stores, killing their sales, and killing their business flow. All right, welcome back into the channel, Rockstars. This video is no clickbait, it's no joke, and for background information, I want to tell you guys this. In the last 16 months, we have done over 300,000 listings of folks that have submitted photos to us, sellers that have sent us photos to be created on eBay and some on Poshmark, List Perfectly, etc. And in the last 2 months, not even 2 months, in fact, it's been about a month and 3 weeks, about 7 weeks of us doing photos, photography, fulfillment, and listings for sellers. We have done almost 3,000 total where we take the photos and do everything. So we're on about a 2,000 per month pace of us doing photos. We're on a 20 to 25,000 a month pace of doing just the listings when you submit the photos. So that kind of gives you a background on how much we're processing, how many accounts that we've seen, over 1,200 clients. We're up to almost 100 clients for photos, 1,200 clients for fulfillment and listing only. And in all this time, I have some amazing clients. I have clients with incredible stuff that sell tons of stuff a day. I have clients that don't sell anything. It's every realm, mostly clothing, 80% clothing, some toys, some collectibles, some electronics. We have a mix of everything. So the mistake is this: perfection, being perfect. So I understand that a lot of people sell clothing and they include measurements. We include measurements in our photos and our listings, and we do that for our clients when we create your listings. It's a part of selling clothing. I get it. It helps decrease returns, increase sales, decrease questions. Completely understandable. Take a measurement, take 2 measurements, sometimes 3, fine. Good backgrounds, good color, good photos that don't show like spots or stains or don't show shadows. If that happens and it's my mistake, that's my mistake, right? But it answers questions for people that might be buying things. But let me give you a number that might blow your socks away. I know somebody that does $50,000 a month taking photos with a lot of clothing, mind you, other stuff, but no clothing. Doesn't take measurements or very few measurements, hardly ever answers eBay messages unless it's like really detailed or from somebody that's bought something, not from people just window watching, kicking the tires. He never does any of this stuff, and here's the reason why. He would rather spend his time just listing more and more and more, and all they do is just photograph, list, and sell all this stuff, and he'll worry about issues later. His returns are actually very low, and his feedback is really good. It's like 99.9%. He gets a negative here and there, but not much. And there's never any issues because he sees the time spent on all this piddly bull hockey. Can I get the measurement of the inside left front sleeve pocket, please? Are you kidding me? For a $20 shirt? I know it sounds reasonable. You're going to make a sale to someone. But he ignores all of the noise, and all he does is just keeps listing, keeps going, because all the time he spends listing and putting stuff up amounts to thousands and thousands and thousands more dollars in sales than if he spent all that time answering questions over one $20 shirt or 2 $20 shirts or this measurement, or spending all the extra time. If it takes an extra minute to do all these measurements or 2 minutes to do these measurements, and he's doing 50 items a day, that's 25 minutes, 20 minutes, that's 400, it's hours and hours and hours of time. He's just not gonna do it. And there's tons of sellers who are the exact same way. And there's a lot of sellers that I've come across doing what I do now, doing the business I do, receiving all this inventory that we're processing and photographing and taking in, that they spend a ton of time on things that are important. They do matter, and they will help sales and cut down returns. But it's kind of like if you had 1,000 video games and you didn't test any of them, but you had a pretty good idea that they were all good to go because they came from like people that traded them in or whatever, and you put them all up and some of them came back, but if you had spent weeks and weeks testing them versus just getting them up and selling them, the sales you're gonna make will pay for any returns and any stuff that happens, right? That sounds really bad, and I'm not condoning not testing electronics, not doing this or not doing that. But when we're talking about clothing, there's nothing immoral, illegal, or wrong about not measuring or not answering questions. It's not being lazy. It's simply just valuing your time versus the time it will take to customer service versus the time it takes to sell. Your time is more valuable selling than it is customer massaging, especially when you take into account that half of that window shopping, tire kicking, question answering, they're not even going to amount to sales anyways. They're never going to buy anything. And half of those other people that are left, so half of them are gone, they're never going to buy. The other half that maybe buys, probably only half of them end up becoming paying customers, so about 25%. And out of those, you'll never hear from half of them. You might only hear from 1 or 2 of them that have an issue or a problem or want to ask deeper questions after they purchase. If somebody buys from me and spends money, then I'm probably going to go answer their question. But if they're just window shopping, I'm not doing it. I'm literally not doing it. I do this personally. I ignore those messages. When somebody messages me and goes, can I get the measurement shoulder to shoulder? No. If it's not in the listing, then I didn't think it was necessary or it was important enough to put in the listing. It's not important enough for me to pull it and check it. I know this sounds bad. People are going to say, you're hurting your sales. You're hurting your sales. Am I? Am I hurting my sales by not answering 1 or 2 questions? Or am I helping my sales by spending my time more productively? That's the mistake that I see a ton of sellers making on eBay. And I didn't realize how prevalent of an issue it was until I started receiving all this stuff in here and seeing people's accounts. Seeing how much time they had put into these listings, how much time they put into writing big paragraphs for descriptions that people don't even read. People don't read descriptions, right? I have a customer who wrote like a 10-page paragraph on every listing, like, holy crap. And the answer that he gave me, this was a customer guy, super nice guy. The answer that he gave me, I wrote him and I said, why are you spending the time on this? This is really unnecessary. And he goes, I want to make sure that a customer has every piece of information they have about an item. They're not going to return it. They can't argue with me. They can't fight a case. And I'm like, dude, we'll call him John Doe. John Doe, like, you just wasted so much time on all this stuff. If you had spent this time listing all the death pile that you have, you'd have thousands more in sales. And the one idiot that's going to return a $20 item, who cares? Like, who cares, right? Not to mention, most of these people aren't reading these descriptions anyway, so you're not helping yourself. This is just one of the many problems that I see. I see people who are selling a men's t-shirt. I've got a client who's selling a men's t-shirt. He was taking 6 measurements per shirt. A men's t-shirt, a regular dry fit shirt, right? 6 measurements. And I'm thinking to myself, my goodness, 1, right? Armpit to armpit, maybe 2. He was taking a 3rd one for the sleeve opening. He was taking shoulders. He was taking the bottom across. He had 3 across photos. He had like shoulder, armpit, and bottom. He had the 4th one of the arm opening, the 5th one of the neck down. And I think he had like a 6th one from the armpit down. 6 measurements on a guy's dry fit, a $20 dry fit, a t-shirt. It was just unnecessary, right? And this was a different client than the paragraph guy. These were 2 different guys. And I just see this over and over and over again. So the long story short, I'll wrap this whole video up and cut it here. Being perfect on eBay is not necessary. Having overkill on eBay is not necessary, especially when it's $20 items. If you're selling a $200 Gucci shirt, okay, I can kind of see that. I'll cut you a break. I'll give you a pass on that one. But if you're selling a $20 Under Armour shirt or a $30 pair of jeans, yeah, give them 2 or 3 measurements, but you don't need 6. You don't need 400 pictures. I saw it when eBay put up that 24 photo update when you used to be able to do 12 and now you can do 24. Does everybody remember that? And I said, man, who's taking the time to put 24 photos on anything unless it's something extremely expensive, a vintage record player that's $399, or Jamie Pace sells these ridiculous $500 vintage electronics and stuff. Okay, I'll cut you a pass, Jamie. You want to spend an extra 5 minutes on photos, so be it. Jamie's an amazing seller, by the way. He does way more sales than me, or at least equal to my sales. So I'm just giving him a hard time because I know when he hears my videos, he'll get a laugh out of this. But point being made, if you're selling items like Jamie is, fine. Take all the photos you want. Knock yourself out. Go to town. But otherwise, guys, list and move on. My favorite saying, right? Who here is new to the channel that's not new to the channel? Move on, move on, move on. That's the phrase of the day. Move on. Stop being perfect. What's that Frozen song? I can't think. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go, guys. These people aren't buyers. They're not reading. They're not for real. They're not serious. People that buy know what they're buying. They spend money. They move on. You're wasting time. That's it. That's my TED Talk today. Okay, hopefully that helps you out. Feel free to roast me in the comments. I know there's gonna be a lot of people that are roasting me in the comments. If you are one of my fulfillment customers, or my listing customers, and you're watching this and you think this is targeted towards you, it's probably not. There's only a few of you that I really get really aggravated with. I don't mind you guys sending me questions about measurements or this and that. I'm happy to do it. It's what you pay me for. I love it. I love your business. I love your guys' listings, and we're thrilled to do the work for you. I'm just saying there are some of you, not all of you, some of you that could definitely benefit from moving on and spending way less time sending me stuff. Let me do the job, and I promise you'll see the difference in sales. Okay, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll see everyone next time.